We're lucky to attend Herricks Middle School since it has a pretty diverse population when it comes to race, and a lot of the staff and students are very inclusive and open-minded.
Good morning, Herricks Middle School. Please stop where you are and pause for the Pledge of Allegiance.
However, we still know a bit about people constantly being judged based on the labels society puts on us. Hi, I'm Alyssa.
Hey, this is Kristen.
And we're happy to be your host. Over the past few years, we've seen an uproar in discussions around race, ethnicity, sexuality, and gender. We're 8th graders about to go to high school, and we want to encourage positivity and getting to know everyone with an open mind. Today, we've decided to explore the topic of grouping people together and judging them based on that. Every topic here is different and contrasting, and yet they still have the same main idea. We see someone for who they are on the outside and hit them with stereotypes that force them to question whether they truly behave differently in order to be viewed in a different way.
There are many different branches and fields of this topic, but we're going to talk about just a few of these types of labeling and how it can negatively affect the world.
Since we are in fact middle schoolers, let's start with stereotypes that us students face on each other. Girls are often expected to get good grades while boys should focus on playing sports. Something else that I've seen around the halls of middle school is people expect one race to be smarter than the other. Oftentimes I've heard people say to their friends, "You're this race, so obviously that test was easy for you." Personally, I'm Asian and I felt extra pressure from my own family because I'm supposed to be naturally good in school. Additionally, based on one's personality, people often get classified into specific groups. For example, if someone does well in school, they are a nerd or an overachiever. But if someone doesn't do well in school, they become lazy.
Another thing that often happens in school is people judge others based on how quiet or loud they are, and then they deem them introverts or extroverts. But being an introvert or extrovert doesn't define your loudness or how often you speak. Personally, I'm an ambivert, and I think most people are too. Because sometimes when I'm alone, I long for the company of my friends, while other times, both when I'm with friends or with strangers, I want to relax at home. One time in school, a kid said that he and another guy were extroverts and another girl and I were introverts. He said that the girl and I didn't talk, which made him feel like he and the other boy were extroverts since they often blurted out random answers during class. But this honestly really did bother me because someone was assuming my characteristics without even really knowing me. And this leads into sexism.
People still believe that we should be assigning roles to gender, telling women to stay at home, keep the house in order, and men are expected to perform quote-unquote manly jobs. Females are expected to be well-behaved while men should act out.
Along with gender stereotypes, sexuality also plays a big role in determining the characteristics expected of individuals. People might label someone's sexuality without even knowing them just based off how they speak or act. For example, your hair length or type might cause people to label you as gay or straight, and that might not be how you identify as. These stereotypes are harmful to people because they might feel like they have to act a certain way in order to be accepted by society. When people know someone's sexuality as well, they might treat them differently than other people, using common stereotypes to judge others based off what they identify as. This could make those in the closet even more afraid to come out and express who they are.
Expecting someone to act a certain way based on their age also can ruin one's self-esteem. For example, if you're between the ages of 5 and 18, people expect you to be in school devoting all of your time to education. Some teens in high school or middle school might need to work and drop out of school, and others may need to act as parents due to what's going on at home. After high school, you're expected to go to college. Furthermore, society expects people to dress a certain way based on their age. Similarly to what Kristen mentioned about sexuality, people might try to hide who they are because they're judged when they express themselves.
Yeah, and I realized throughout the years that as a teen, we're supposed to be a kid and an adult at the same time. We're supposed to make sure that we're responsible for our actions, and it really makes it hard for us to enjoy our child life. So we're going to start bringing this podcast to a close with a very common topic relating to identity and stereotypes, race. For example, African Americans being wrongfully accused of criminal activity, Caucasians being assumed by other races that they are racist, and Asians being attacked during the infamous COVID pandemic because they were assumed to have the virus. As someone who does identify as a member of the AAPI community, I can say that these stereotypes and news stories definitely affected me and made me realize just how ignorant and cruel people could be. Obviously, these stereotypes and labeling is wrong and makes people feel like they have to confine into a box in order to fit into society's guidelines. We need to take action in order to change this. So before automatically jumping to conclusions about someone, open up your mind. Try to get to know this person better, or at least observe their actions before creating their personality in your head.
We hope this podcast leaves you with helpful information. That's going to do it for me.
And that's it for me.
Bye.